Alright, welcome. We're going to do a quick look at the new Nikke cards that just released for the Nikke booster set. I will be covering every new Nikke card that releases through the UA bot that's posted. Until I figure out how to do it in my own server, it's going to look a little scuffed. As you can see here, it's all like forwarded from the UA community that I'm part of. But anyways, let's get right to it. So first off, this is a new Rappy. This is a 1 cost yellow with an active trigger. The PC, I'm not really sure what that stands for in JP, but the R does indicate its base rarity. So this is an alt art of a rare card, which means this is bulk. Effect. So on your turn, if you use an event during its turn, this character gains 1,000 BP. So she becomes a 3K potentially. When this character is rated on, if there's a face down card under this character, draw 1 card. The on play of the rated character and this effect can be resolved in any order, which means you can choose to draw 1 first, or you can choose to use the on play of the raid Rappy instead. So first off, event cards are back. Yeah, you have to use events, and then you can get 1,000 BP. Otherwise, she's just a 2K. She's at least an active trigger now, so which is pretty nice. And the raid on effect is similar to the new Illumi that we got in Hunter Volume 2, where if that Illumi was rated on, you can choose a character on your opponent's field, and if that character is sidelined, you can draw 1 card. Which the pairing for that is obviously raid on the Illumi, choose the same target, kill it, and you draw 3 cards. This is essentially that same as the Illumi. However, this is not exactly what the deck needed. First off, the thing I noticed is face down cards. So they're adding the face down mechanic to this deck for some reason. This set covers up to chapter 26, I think. It's Rappy's home, Red Hood's hometown. So they're covering up to chapter 26 or something, or 28. I can't remember which one exactly. But because they're covering that, Rappy essentially will become her own deck at this point. So my assumption, obviously we only have 3 cards, it's still new, is that because of the face down mechanic being added here, Rappy will become her own deck, and this face down mechanic will be utilized as part of the deck, which is interesting, but not really what the deck needed. This is making a new identity for Rappy, which in terms of lore makes sense, but in terms of gameplay, it's kind of weird. Your 2 builds already were just the Modanias with the counters, or the counters themselves. And then I guess the 3rd build is the War Dress Exotic, but they're separate. But we're just talking about the counters right now. She can be played generically in the counters deck, but basically this face down mechanic is saying that she is meant to be played in her own deck. At least that's what I'm speculating right now. It's not 100%, but no other cards right now in yellow from Volume 1 have a face down mechanic. The only thing that has a face down mechanic is Green Tetra specifically. We go on to the second card, Alice Wonderland Bunny. This is a costume that appears in the game. Sorry, let me scratch that. This is a separate character in a different costume in the game. So this Alice is a 4/2, 4K with a get trigger. This card is also treated as Alice, which is important because her name is technically Alice Wonderland Bunny, but she's treated as Alice, which means you can raid over her. Or if a card is asking for a character with the Alice name, this would count. On play, plays or raids up to 1 green Tetra line card with required energy of 0 or less and 1 AP from your outside area to your field active. That part's really good. For each face down card under cards in your area, increase the required energy and range of characters you play or raid with this effect by 1. So in Tetra, you can actually turbo cards underneath your characters really fast. By turn 4 or 5, you can easily get like 4 or 5 cards underneath your characters. So the face down cards underneath isn't the issue. One of the biggest issues is this deck has 0 removal. You get effects by discarding the face down cards, or like cards get effects if they have face down cards underneath it, but basically the deck has 0 removal whatsoever. This doesn't really fix that, but it does help you build up bodies, which is kind of nice. The issue is she's a 4/2 and she doesn't play active, which really sucks. Sure, the card that she plays comes in active, but the fact that she herself does not come in active really, really, really sucks. Because that's just a rested body that's not doing anything. So you play her in the back, I guess, and then push her up later. But what would have helped is if she played active at least. Because again, the deck with no removal, at least so far, unless the Precious Booster introduces something, the deck has 0 removal. So you kind of have to mitigate that by playing with a lot of aggro, which the deck can't exactly do. But this has potential. You can essentially play this for 2 AP. Hopefully you have a 0 cost Alice in your back. So you basically play this for 2 AP. Raid a 5 cost Alice from your sideline to a 0 cost. Push that up to the front. Effect of the Alice, discard 2 face down cards underneath cards on your field. and then you could play a 3 cost or less from your hand to your field, I believe. But yes, this can get you potentially a good amount of bodies. There's a lot of plays you could do with this, but right now it's just okay. It kind of helps with what the deck needed, which is getting stuff from your outside area. However, one of the biggest issues is because you discard face down cards so much, um, a somewhat significant issue is getting cards underneath your cards again, because once they're gone, they're gone. If they have a card that hopefully can recur and put like cards underneath, that would help a lot. Maybe a Neve or a Tove, so that they could like say on play puts a card from sideline face down underneath one of your characters on your field. That alone helps the deck a lot. But again, it still sucks because there's no removal, so it's not really as much of a threat right now. But impact cancel and playing cards for free, active especially, it's still really nice. And then the last character. Again, this is a precious booster, so we do not have a new color. It is just existing colors with new support. That's it. This character, Red Hood, hyped character. This is part of the new goddess trait. Inherent effect outside the raid. If she has 6k or more BP, she gets impact 1. Pretty good. Raid. At the end of this character's attack, play up to one of this character's raid source cards on your area in rested. And on play, this character gains the effect. This character cannot be chosen by opponent's trigger effects during this turn. So, normally the end of attack would be problematic because end of attack doesn't resolve or doesn't start until if your opponent takes life until they finish resolving all other effects. When sideline effects or anything that's life triggers, they have to resolve those first. Normally, the issue here would be that she can get special, and so you wouldn't be able to play the raid source back. But because she has the on-play protection, it's really nice. However, it only protects from trigger effects, does not protect from character effects. So the big problem there is if they have a raid trigger that is on a character that potentially kills her, it really sucks because now you can't play the raid source to your field rested, and then you also just lose the Red Hood body. That's just a potential scenario of what will happen, but it is something to consider. And then the fact is, she requires 6k or more to gain impact. Kind of sucks. It does say that Goddess will be BP boosting because as of right now, nothing in purple Nikke boosts BP whatsoever. So likely Goddess Guard will have some BP boosting at least. The biggest problem I see with, especially with new colors, for example, Code Geass, Knights of the Round for green, they do a lot of BP boosting, but that's only on your turn. But then on the crackback, your opponent sweeps you hard. BP boosting is never good unless it sticks or if it's on your opponent's turn. When it's on your turn, it really sucks because your bodies are a lot weaker. Granted, you boost her to 6k, she's meant to close out games, so it's not bad, especially since she doesn't have to be rated for that effect. But I'm hoping the deck doesn't rely on BP boosting for its effects because, one, I think it's really lazy, but two, I think it makes the deck really trash because right now, purple, the Goddess Squad, which is essentially just mostly Pilgrims, Pilgrims are really garbage. Goddess Squad was expected we'd see, but I don't know how good this deck is gonna be. So far the raid is just okay though. Also, another criticism, this art, it's a Valentine's art basically. We've never gotten this before, so it's not in the game. Obviously it's bait. This is also a SR base, which means that she is gonna be one of the cards that you can pull. Same with the Alice. But I imagine they're just using her default outfit for a 0 cost or something. But yeah, otherwise, in terms of art, I think this looks okay for a base SR. You know my stupid ass is not going to be playing this. I'm going to be playing the 2-star. So, that's just me. But anyways, that's about it for the Nikke cards. So far, thoughts is that this is kind of weird. We have to see the rest of what Goddess is going to do. But right now, this card is like fine. You can play another card rested. If it played it active, that would be a lot nicer, but we can't have nice things, I guess, because fuck it. Nikke can't have great cards. They can only have mid cards with Gruner arts. Alice has a lot of potential. We need to see what the rest of support for Tetra is, but right now, this Alice is pretty good. It's just that the fact that, well, she's okay at best. The issue is just she doesn't play active herself. She costs 2 AP, and there's no way to reduce it, at least as of right now. So, you're paying a lot to play something for free from your sideline. This is more of a mid to late game card, though. You're not playing this early game because you get no value from early game. And then this Rappy here, right now, it's just mediocre in my opinion. The other 1-cost Rappy is better just because it's a Riza, but without a trigger. This one is just playing an entirely different deck with the face down mechanic. So I'm curious to see where they go with that. But as of right now, it's just okay. It's not that great. Like if you were gonna play one cost, I probably would maybe play like one. I don't even know. She has an active trigger, but her effect's not that good. I think I would just honestly rather play 4 of the one cost from Volume 1. But yeah, that's about it for this set. I will be doing more videos as we get more spoilers for Nikke specifically. I know we are getting spoilers for like Idolmaster and stuff, and we will eventually get other sets like Chain Soldier and Kingdom. But right now, I just want to do videos on Nikke because it's like my set. So that said, I look forward to seeing you guys later. I might do another video after I'm done with my thing later, but I don't know. We'll have to figure it out because I'm really tired. But anyways, I'll see you guys later.